What?
Hey! Hi.
Scratch is here. Wow, Scratch.
The legendary Scratchmaster.
Barrie!
I don't know about the legend, but I'm here.
Welcome to the show. But Scratch, you have here now, man. You're the barber
Right
now.
now,
To work.
Yo, how do I full screen this, Renegade?
Boy,
Huh? What
listen to
happened?
me.
How do I full screen this?
Well, it's 4 of us, so I don't know. That's up to you. I don't know.
It's pulling up the screen.
Yeah. So before we get into it, I want to from 2 gentlemen, Scratchmaster. He has a show on every week. Also, Barrie Hype. Welcome to the morning show, the AM Start Morning Show. Tell us your situations now in the islands you are. Starting with you, Barrie, in St. Lucia.
Well, good morning, first of all, to Cayman. Hello! We are officially under lockdown. The entire island is on lockdown for 7 days. The only way you're allowed to get around will be via a permission slip, aka a vehicle pass.
Right.
No banks, no restaurants, nothing is open. Nothing is open.
Wow.
And for any of you who have been to St. Lucia, like Scratch or like Renegade, I just went to drop off my mom's caregiver, and you know where the shopping malls are in Rodney Bay. It was very eerie to go to an intersection, which at any point in time you have to wait about a minute to get out, where I could have stood in the middle of the road and took a 360 video selfie and not even have to worry.
Is that what you did?
No, I wanted to, but I didn't think it'd be in good taste. Scratch would have done it though, but I'm just saying.
Scratch is confined in his car.
I'm in my car. I'm quarantined.
Quarantine.
I like that.
I'm quarantined.
Even the next mix. Quarantine.
Quarantine.
Yeah,
So tell us how's Grenada?
Grenada is pretty much like St. Lucia. It started off with a curfew that was from 7 p.m. till 5 a.m. They instituted that last week, and they realized that some individuals weren't taking it seriously. So they, on Sunday, announced that from Monday, it would be 24-hour curfew until next week. It's for 7 days. Now, the only difference with us and St. Lucia, Barrie, if I'm not mistaken, St. Lucia did it like immediately, right?
Yeah, our curfew was at 8 to 5. The Prime Minister addressed the country in the 8 p.m. hour. So basically the curfew was effective immediately.
Right.
So
the thing with us is that Grenada was given some time to stock up and so on, but you know the chaos that would have ensued after that. But everything is quiet now. Only essential services are allowed to go out. They opened small shops only on Wednesdays and Fridays to get groceries and so on, and that is from 8 a.m. to 12 noon, and they say only emergencies. Only emergencies. So if it is your home and you're feeling for ice cream, don't think you could just go down the road and get ice cream. You understand what I mean?
You guys are in a worse.
No, rum and raisin, that's an emergency for me.
Yeah, that flavor is so crucial, man. I mean,
especially the rum.
Oh my God.
Especially the rum.
Anyway, gentlemen, so you guys are in a harder lockdown than we are, which once we air this video, or is airing now for our Premier Seed, he might do the same, because yesterday we got our first confirmed community transmitted case.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Yeah, so it was 2 that came out yesterday. How many cases do you guys have? Do you know? How much does St. Lucia and Grenada have?
Currently, St. Lucia is at 9 confirmed.
Okay.
Scratch?
I think Grenada is 9 or 11. One of those 2 numbers.
Are any of those community transmitted, or is it all like?
No, I don't think it's community transmitted.
I don't think so either. And funny enough, the number was initially 1, then it was 3. But 2 of those persons have now returned to their home countries. So I asked them how come they don't drop the numbers. They say it doesn't work that way. Basically, they do. It's 8 now. How many new cases do we have? That's how they judge it. So the new case means so we don't have any new cases. That's a good thing.
Right. I think that's the same that we're doing. I think we're at 11 or 13.
Wow. Cayman is small.
Yeah, but one of them died, so it should be 10.
Right. Come on.
But it was all important. But this is the first time. So when they announced it yesterday in a press conference, it was like, okay, and we have a hard curfew at night and a soft curfew in the day where banks do open till 1 or 3.
I did hear that, Renegade. I did hear your chief of police saying that about the hard curfew and soft curfew.
Yeah.
Funny enough, in Bermuda, they have something similar, but the one thing I found in Bermuda is, let's say you fly into the country and you're asked to self-quarantine. They do pop-up roadblocks. If you are caught in a pop-up roadblock when you're supposed to be self-quarantining, the consequences are quite harsh. In Barbados, the fine is 50,000 Bajan. That's 25. Yeah, that's half of that in US dollars.
Wow.
It is not that you just go very, very high, in my words, that it makes sense to go that high just to deter anybody.
I think it's 3,000 here.
3,000.
Reach. And
3,000 or 6 months imprisonment.
Yeah, something like that. But they're still out there. As he said, it's impossible to really enforce it though.
No, it's not. You get out there. Like when I left my house this morning to drop my mom's caregiver off, as I pulled out the junction, coming around the corner, there was a police officer. As I showed him my credential, he let me go. So I'm like, wow.
Right. But they're saying like it's really impossible to lock. I mean, K-Man is lucky that now we've been listening. I think this is what, like, we had a week of this already, right, JJ?
Yeah, it's been a week.
Yeah. And John Henry just logged in. He said St. Lucia has 13. Yeah, confirmed.
So we went up then, yeah.
Yeah, 13. So I guess that's why they probably put the lockdown on 24 hours. 7. So you're saying not even the supermarkets are open?
Nope, nothing at all.
That is crazy.
No. We actually went for the whole 7 days. We went from the first curfew was 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. Then followed by 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. And at that point in time, the way they set it up was like this. So the supermarket from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. was only open to 55 and over and disabled. The banks from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. were then specifically opened again for 55 and over and disabled. The bank would then open from 9 a.m. to 12 for regular traffic. And then what they were doing this week, the plan, which actually it was in place from Monday and Tuesday, was that you could withdraw funds, online banking, or telephone customer service. You could not go into the bank at all.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of that's here. Everything is remote. When I spoke to Scratch, was it like a week ago? I spoke to you, Scratch.
Yeah.
And I was like, how many cases you have? You go, oh, we only got one.
One, son.
A week later, they full shut down. How much? And it was what, 9? You said you have 9 now or something?
It's either 9 or 11, one of the two. It's not past that.
So I don't know.
It jumped. When they had the second address and it jumped, I mean, it was like, all right, okay.
But we think we accredit that, Renegade, to testing. A lot of these people were in confinement, but I don't think we had, my words, I don't want to say for sure as a fact, but I want to say I don't think we had the full testing facility. So as the testing came on board, the numbers would rise.
Right. So how long you guys think it's gonna last? We're all DJs. Well, Barry makes a living more so because you travel like, how much times a week do you used to travel?
My car spends more time at the airport than it does at home.
Say that again?
My car spends more time at Miami International than it does at home.
Wow. So how you dealing with this lockdown?
I love it. I'm home with my mom. Clean air, fresh water. I have gone and taken a quick dip or two in the ocean. Again, just for more self. This is the most important thing that people are not realizing with this is this is not something a lot of us are used to. And so because of it, please check on your friend, check on your neighbor. Mental health right now is very, very, very important.
All right.
Yep.
What about you, Scott? You're dealing with it.
Well, just taking it a day at a time and hoping that it curbs. You see, my fear with this whole thing is that presently most of the Caribbean, with the exception of St. Vincent, has closed its borders, right? And I believe that a lot of our getting back to normalcy depends on America and the UK containing and getting a grip on what is going on across there. Because take for instance, if it is say St. Lucia and Grenada, or the Caribbean for a matter of fact, say we do the lockdown, there are no more added cases, so practically nobody could bring the virus in because the airport is locked down.
Right.
But America's still having these spikes and so on. I highly doubt they're going to open the borders for flights to come in and then risk infecting the population all over again. So really and truly, this is really dependent on the states and the UK and those places that have it a lot, at a more rampant rate.
Right. Yeah, that's the same thing they're echoing here. They're not opening at all until I guess America's cleared up. So Barry, since hearing that, you live in Miami now.
Yep.
I mean, all the time. So you're not anticipating going back for a minute.
At the earliest, I'm figuring that I will be back in South Florida mid-May, and that's the earliest. Mid-May.
Wow.
So I'll be spending my birthday in St. Lucia and not in Cayman, Badamanu, Sunday going to Rum Point.
Yeah, I just spoke about it before you guys jumped in. I mean, we did reschedule the date, but we just had everything prepared and ready to go. Hopefully we can fly even by then, because we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. If we go all the way till October with the industry closed down, it could get real scary.
Yeah, from the looks of things, it seems to be that's the safest time period for right now. Barbados is watching. Scott's gonna test. Grenada's watching.
Grenada's watching.
Yeah. St. Vincent, I anticipate, is going to move. But that's obviously, my opinion. It's not official. St. Lucia, we're either moving or we're not going to happen. It looks like we're more than likely not going to happen.
I think they announced already for next year.
Yeah. The two carnivals that are in most jeopardy is actually Labor Day in New York and Notting Hill in London, which each draws a huge amount. I mean, apart from Rotterdam, which hasn't been postponed or canceled, that will be Europe's first carnival, Notting Hill. And
Right.
which means that, if they don't get their act together, then that falls. So as of now, the October date looks very, very safe.
All right, let me ask you guys this then, to get off a little bit of the bad news. Obviously, I know you gentlemen, for a minute, you both love your job. Tell me, how did you get into what you do? And why do you love it?
Ooh, scratch first.
Yeah, scratch first.
I would have liked to hear Barry's answer.
Like, don't do that, man. Come on, let's go.
How I got into it?
Yeah.
Man, that's a long story, man. I don't think you have enough time. But to summarize, well, I'm from Trinidad originally. And my dad had a lot of records at home that I used to mess around with. And then I migrated to Grenada because of my parents. I was a teenager, met Simply Smooth, and started messing around some more while I was in school. Got involved in radio while I was in school. When I left school and I was working in the bank, I was also involved in it. And then one day I just said, to hell with it. Let me just do this thing full time.
Oh.
And I'm here now.
So how'd you get so technical, though? Because I know you've mentored a lot of other great DJs.
Including Puffy.
Well, yeah, that name always comes up. Yeah, that name always comes up. My thing is, for me, I always had a passion for it. And when I left the bank to do this full time, I kind of made a promise to myself that, music has different avenues. You have, like, for me, I wear several hats. So I DJ, I do the engineering part of it, I'm on radio and so on. So I really wanted to expand in as many avenues of it and try to perfect where I could as possible. And it's all about practicing. DJs hit me up all the time and ask me, well, how you do this, and I'll just be like, practice.
Practice.
I could only say this and say that, but if you don't apply it, you gotta practice.
So how many hours a day you used to practice when you were starting?
Oh boy, it was ridiculous. Bro, there's things I used to do for music. Listen to me. I ain't want to exaggerate. I'll never forget, before I had my driver's license, right? I went to buy Simply Smooth to borrow 2 crates of records. Yeah, records, because that's how it was in the 90s.
Yep.
I walked with 2 crates of records. Let me see if I could give a distance, boy. It had to be at least 2 miles.
Wow.
With it in my hand, hot sun, to practice for a weekend.
So you were practicing on Warp Records. Nice.
No. It wasn't Warp.
You can scratch so good. You had the wrong materials.
They were in proper crates, man. They were in proper crates. Listen, that was painful.
All right,
painful. Guys have it easy now.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Barrie Hype. No, I kind of know some of your story, but for those who don't know, tell them.
It's there are many aspects of it. I actually got into the technical side of the industry first, and then from there, then I became part of a team in St. Lucia which was called Enigma Sound, which was myself and a DJ called Mixmaster DJ Cleus.
Wow.
Yeah, very, very like Scratch and yourself, Renegade, very technical when it comes to scratching and everything else. So I started more on the mic than in actual DJing. But I obviously realized there were steps, and then from there, fast forwarding, growing Black Shadow Sound, and then moving into the soca industry, working with the likes of being Rupee's DJ now, working with Private Ryan, the full team. So it's a long time. I started making money at this, I want to say at 19, and I will be celebrating the anniversary of my 25th in May.
Oh, that's good.
The anniversary.
You're young in it though. For me and Scratch, we like what, 30 something in it now? Years?
Some.
All right. That's good. But I remember when Barrie used to come here, and he would be the only DJ that wanted to play the whole night. And I was like, wow. And then I remember this. Like, I remember he would come in, and he would if the party started at 9, he was there at 7, and he just became this force after maybe two years coming here, to 3 years. Then by the 4th year, it was like, yo, people requesting Barrie Hype to came, man. And I was like, that. And I tell the story to so many DJs, like, you guys don't work like Barrie Hype. And it's true what he said. If he's not DJing, he's doing something else. He's setting up the sound. He's doing something else. So that brings me to this clash that you guys went and did. First, what was it? What was the name of the song? Rhythm
Culture Clash.
Red Bull Culture Clash.
Now you guys had some really good material, but you lost.
We didn't win the trophy, but we won the respect.
Yeah, man, that's what losers say. But listen.
Renegade in the building.
Losers say, I've beaten a lot of people, and I respect that they die gracefully. So listen. What was the game plan?
Boy.
What was the game plan going in? Because I know you guys love the clash thing. What was the game plan?
Let me start off with pre-game before we actually get to the game plan. The team was assembled by King Bubba, Dollar Sham, aka Mr. Rhythm Stream. They put together the key components of what we thought would make a good team. The night before the clash, I will never forget this. We basically compiled all the dubs we had, and you had a 2 laptop setup. So Renegade, you're sitting right there with your laptop in front of you. To your right is Scratchmaster, but you're not you're Willie Chin.
Right.
Willie Chin gets the dubs, he aligns them, he puts the drop out where the rhythm drops out so the word sticks out. He does all that, basically drag and drops, moves it to airdrop to Scratch's computer. Scratch is now mastering our dubs.
Wow.
Our dubs sounded 20 times better than anybody's. And this was done the night before. That was pregame. That night is when Tony Matteron also became part of our team. He was still in Miami. We spoke with him via Skype, and then we pretty much put the game plan together of who's the collab going first? Will there be an artist in that? Who's the collab going second? Will there be an artist? Which artist will we bring out? Because there were rules to each round of what we did, what we were allowed to play, what we were not allowed to play. And it made for a really, really interesting clash. The surprise guest artist that nobody saw coming was Beanie Man on our team.
Right.
Was touched down in at the airport. They didn't see Bubba. They did not see Wasways. They did not see Mr. Killer. Rumish Entertainment thought that they could sneak Shensia into the country and put up a fake Suriname booking on her Instagram. The funny thing was Shensia was on my flight to Jamaica the day before the clash. She sat in front of me that I could have literally reached out and pulled her hair.
Okay. I mean, is there a recording of it? Because I've been trying to find it. Is it anyone?
They have video of it. There's video of the whole clash on YouTube.
Okay.
Red Bull put it up. They posted it. They have the whole clash, proper quality, everything.
I'm going to repost that.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I know there was a lot of expletives. A lot of content that I didn't think Red Bull would have posted. And they post the whole thing.
I think they had to go because they did the same thing with the one in London in Wembley Stadium, or was it O2 Arena? I think O2, where that's just the nature of the dubs that are cut.
Right.
The rules stipulated that we as the MCs we were not allowed to, but of course the dubs could.
Okay. All right, guys. Let me ask you. Today's April Fool's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys have pranks lined up or?
Nah. This whole year is a prank.
This year has been one, but it's a leap year. They always say leap years are typically bad.
I know leap years is when you have more pregnancies.
Well,
clearly they will this one.
All right, so no pranks from you guys today.
Nah.
Yeah. It's not this time.
Right.
Not this.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to any stories you want to say before we leave that you probably have in the bank? I know Barrie Hype or Scratch. Any stories? Some legendary stories?
Legendary stories, boy.
Private Ryan is an amazing chef, ladies. I'm just putting it out there. So yeah.
Better than Young Joe?
Yeah. You know what's funny? Renegade and Scratch? Is that Young Chow single-handedly changed the whole face of Instagram for about 6 weeks in the DJ community, having everybody, putting up their cooking stories. And even I did like a breakfast and put something up. And now Rona, aka Corona, aka Corolla, whatever you want to call her, she now has DJs up DJing full sets. Yeah, it's crazy. Have you seen Walshy's Sound Clash, by the way? On
I
YouTube?
want to peep that. Is it
I
up
haven't
still?
seen it yet. No, I haven't seen it yet.
It's really incredible. He has done something really unique with Sound Clash. He had Mattia from Germany, and he had Specs from Toronto. And he did it a little bit differently, where he would bring up a scenario, and he'd be like, right, I need you, for example, play the 5 most influential hip hop songs that you grew up on or that affected you.
Wow.
Versus what's the 5 biggest Biggie Smalls, or what's the 5 biggest Jay-Z. He definitely went a different angle. It was very interesting to watch, very intriguing.
But I want to hear a story about you, Barrie. I want to hear a story about you.
About me.
You never ever go. Anyway, Scratch, tell me a story then. Tell me a story while Barrie thinks of one.
What kind of story?
Well, when I had Papa Keat on, he told me like when he went to the Suge Knight party and all kind of stuff happened. So you guys, we've all been in this business long enough to have stories. I have stories.
Yeah, like that show you did in Canada where you
Oh
got
yeah,
paid,
you know it. Yeah,
you got paid, and from there you went straight to the airport and bleached till your flight.
What?
that was another. Yeah, there was one where they threatened to kill me. Yeah, yeah. So
Big up Chip Lee,
yes. Anyway, let's.
Renegade,
I,
Black.
I've told that story on air before, but sometimes I think people think I be lying half the stuff I say.
No, those things are true.
Yeah,
Those things are true.
That's crazy.
I was threatened. You say if you don't DJ well tonight, you're done.
And I'll give you a story. I was threatened by an individual that if I say the first syllable of his first name, everybody will know who he is.
Okay.
And funny enough, a colleague in the industry, a female DJ. That's all I'm gonna say about that. A female DJ had a few words with him because he's like, "You're looking at Barrie as a very simple individual, but Barrie plays for Black Shadow Sound. So do not take that lightly. Renegade knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
So, the next time you see him, go up to him, shake his hand, and apologize. It ain't gonna be in public or whatever, but just let him know things are good and things are smooth. You got no problems. I was like, wow.
All right, Scratch, your turn.
Man, I don't have any stories like that. The only I can't think of. I don't know, man. You putting me on the spot, man. I wish you told me this from before, Renegade.
It's good radio when it's on spot. You know this.
Exactly.
The only thing I could think of is the night, and this has to do with Puffy here. The night before, he went in. He had the final for the three style competition, the one that he won. He had sent me his what do you call it? His routines.
Yeah.
Right? He had been sending me his routines even before he went into the competition. So when he finally made it to the final round, this is, to decide who wins the competition, he had already used in the prior round to get in there what he considered his strongest set, right? So under pressure, he created a different set, sent it to me and asked me what I thought. I listened to it and I said to him, I say, everything is fine except for the last 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You're practically kind of taken a little bit of a nosedive in the last 2 minutes. So obviously, when you're in competition like that, you could get flustered and there's a lot of anxiety with it, right? Because here he is, he sent me his set thinking that, all right, everything was good. He didn't have to do it, but I made a suggestion for him on how to end, because I always believe from judging these competitions before, because as you know, Renegade, I've been a judge for DJ competitions and so on.
You
I have an idea as to what
you robbed me of my winnings, but yes, I remember.
Ooh.
Go on.
Words.
You really want me to tell him that story, Renegade?
More stories.
Renegade, you get beat fair and square in what country it was?
I did not. Go ahead. Keep going.
Anyway, so I suggested to him what he should do for the last 2 minutes from a prior mix he had sent me. And he made the change. And the thing is, I watched his routine. And I watched the judge's reaction when he reached to the last 2 minutes, because it just went up even more from there. And, it isn't, and he won the competition. Now, I'm not saying that the last 2 minutes made him win the competition, but it would have been, he put himself in a better position to win by making those changes, which he didn't have to do, but he did it.
Well, what did he end with?
That was when he went from oh Lord, this artist from Britain that died that sang Rehab. What's her name again?
Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse. He went from Amy Winehouse into the Dawn Pen. No.
From, I said,
from there, right? To that. Yeah. When that came in, the judges were thinking.
Yeah, I remember that.
But back to Renegade and that story where he lost the clash. Renegade.
Whatever.
Renegade. I had you to win, Renegade.
Me and Scratch became great friends after that because he knew he robbed me.
I didn't rob Renegade. Well, first of all, I wasn't the only judge.
Yeah, right? Yo, Pete, was it PJ Butter? He told me.
PJ Butter and Just Jace. You should get Just Jace on the phone, man.
Just Jace. He was the only one that didn't come up to me and say I should have won. So it might have been him.
Yeah, you had it to win. It was yours to win, but
everyone watched it.
That guy used that
on YouTube. Go watch it.
Man, boy, Renegade, that's this under your skin, bro. Tell us how you did it,
$1,000, bro.
How much was it?
10. And
US?
if I had won, yeah.
Damn.
And second place was like $2,000.
It's like a pair of Techniques 1200s or some Radio Shack.
No, it was so bad. You didn't notice? Heineken wrote me and said sorry.
Damn.
I have that email. They sent it.
That's
to
what
Harry's here,
that's
and
up on the
your
wall.
boy, they said your guy did the best. So Scratch,
You are the weakest link.
on you, and you stole, what was it, $8,000 from me. Thank you.
Yeah, Scratch, I'm
Well, here's what, Renegade. Bring me to Cayman 8 times.
You're right. I already got you once, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I can give you one story from the Lucia Gas Festival. It was my second year ever working the main stage. And this was the first time and only time that Rihanna performed. And this is when Rihanna had not Ponder Replay. It was the one with the jet ski video. If I want to be a girl, like that song. And I remember this well because I was standing up next to the stage manager. Rihanna was the first artist to go on. Let's say start time, for example, was 11 a.m. At 1 minute past, Rihanna's manager comes up to and says, "Yo, she needs 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, just 5 more minutes, I swear." Then he comes back in 8 more minutes. "Yo, she just needs 2 more minutes, man. They're doing something, 2 minutes, you know how it is, it's women." He says, "Bro, you're cutting into your performance time." Later on, I found out the reason for the delay wasn't Rihanna's outfit, it wasn't her shoes, her in-ear monitors fell into the toilet. I don't know what in-ear monitors are. Those are those things that artists wear in their ears while performing. You know, we're old school. We rely on the monitor stage. Yeah, they fell into the toilet.
So what did they do? What happened?
They clearly dried them off, and she made it happen. She had the number one song in the entire world at the time.
Wow. Okay.
Shout out Jay-Z.
Thank you for that story. Anyway, gents, I'm gonna bring in back my host. Thank you so much. Happy April Fools.
Yes,
always
sir.
to see my good friends, and I'm the silver line to me with this whole coronavirus is I'm seeing my good friends from overseas now joining me back on radio. You know, we don't really chit chat. We link up at a party or doing work.
Yeah, right. It is true. It is true.
All right, man.
Ready to get in the building.
No, man, we're in the studio. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful morning and be safe.
All right.
Be safe. Come on.
Cool.